welcome back to FM Tech Week 2025. This is day 4, and on behalf of the information technology community of IFMA, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining each session this week, and particularly this one. So it just leaves it for me to hand over to this all-star cast. Lisa Henderson is going to introduce Daniel and Ty. But GeoComm is a leader in public safety GIS with over 3 decades of experience supporting 911 systems, first responders, and emergency operations nationwide. And so really looking forward to hearing from Lisa and the team on how you do it. So thank you, Lisa. Over to you.
Thank you, Ed, for that great introduction. We definitely appreciate it. I'm going to start out by introducing our team and lead off with Daniel Stonecipher. He is our Chief Product and Technology Officer here at GeoComm, responsible for leading all of our product strategy, our software development, cloud infrastructure, cybersecurity. It's a mouthful. I'm going to keep going with the credentials of 30 years of experience in AEC, the FM, GIS, BIM, digital twin, IoT, and smart commissioning. He is really driving GeoComm into the evolution of SaaS solution and leading us even further into other areas of extensible markets. He's been previously coming into the world from the Schneider Electric Energy Management Division. That was a mouthful, a mouthful. And so he was the VP and Chief Product Officer leading up that group, and also responsible for the global product strategy and cloud transformation. So we're going to welcome Daniel to our panel today. I'm going to dive right into our next panelist, which is Ty Thompson. Ty has spent more than 30 years utilizing his skill set to blend into the geospatial solution space and to address complex issues, and working with the federal, state, local entities, mostly focused around public safety in the last few years. And for GeoComm, he's responsible for our partner and customer engagements and leveraging our unique GIS offerings to help streamline workflows and anything that might help and benefit into the enterprise application user portfolio. And then, as Ed stated, I am Lisa Henderson. I am the VP of Product Management here at GeoComm, and I am responsible for aiding and assisting in the execution of Daniel's vision and strategies at our product and portfolio level. I come to the table with 25 plus years of experience in public safety, and it's a pleasure to be here with you guys today and take a couple more minutes and introduce our company to the membership. So welcome, Ty, as well. As we dive into our next slide, it is important for us to kind of just share with you guys, we have been in a leading position in public safety for over 30 years. We're really like tapping into our 30-year anniversary, and I am so excited to share with you how we are a forward-thinking software company, and we're leveraging everything that we know about GIS technology to be at the forefront of what is delivered and helping our public safety domain. We're actually leading things that are important to the safety and the health of our communities. And so we then bring into this portfolio of solutions and into this domain the opportunity to dedicate information that is spatially intelligent to emergency call centers, police departments, fire departments, and EMS departments, and all focused on locating people and places as quickly as possible so that they can be enabled to have the most positive outcome on what could be potentially someone's worst day. And so as communities are consistently getting hit aside with all kinds of complex challenges regarding the safety of life and property here in the United States and abroad, we are leveraging not only the things that we are innovating on, but our dedicated staff and the expertise and the subject matter expertise we're bringing into those domains. So for example, we have 60 plus specialists just focused on GIS, just working data, helping make the most profitable and potentially positive outcome that we could have. And those leaders and those entities, along with all the rest of our staff at GeoComm here, we represent about 100 plus dedicated degrees, certificates, and distinctions around spatial intelligence, public safety, IT, security, resiliency, all the things that are really important to putting things into ecosystems that we can be proud of. As we're doing that, we're focusing our next endeavors on things that also help other entities such as facility management and leveraging us to build out and also contribute to those areas of public safety and beyond. Ty, if you would mind going to the next slide, that would be great. As part of our introduction of GeoComm, and before we get to our next speaker, I'm going to take just a couple more minutes and dive a little bit deeper into highlighting our public safety DNA and why we're different. So what really makes GeoComm unique in this space is that we are truly looking to see and we are engaged in, and we believe strongly that there is great opportunity for what we know about public safety to be blended well and connect to facilities management. And so I've mentioned before our innovation, our drive to be leaders within our space. And so we've built an innovative platform which has infused spatial intelligence, leveraging a lot of powerful data visualization, and it really allows for those public safety professionals to make faster, smarter decisions when every second counts. And so we have a proven track record. We've mentioned before, 30 years in the business. But what that also means and translates to is that we have all kinds of footprint in all 50 states at a state level, at a regional county level, down to even a local city township level. And we are covering 1 million plus Americans through some iteration and deployment of our solution within that nationwide footprint. We are passionate about our work. And when I say passionate, I mean we're really passionate about it because we're striving to do everything that we can to contribute to creating a better world. We do so by development of not only our platform, but our viewing applications, the management of data, the delivery and the use of GIS data for getting calls to the right place at the right time, and then also making sure that we are representing the world geospatially, not only outside a facility, but inside a facility. You're going to hear Daniel talking about all of that in a couple of minutes. So I again want to thank everybody for this opportunity to spend 30 minutes with you, the membership here, and allowing us to not only talk about our company, but what we're doing really fun and exciting and our passion. And I'm about to hand the conversation over to Daniel Stonecipher. But before I do, we want to just do a real quick pulse check on everybody. We're going to launch up a poll. And if you could go ahead and hit the button as to answering our question, kind of what do you already know? And does your facility have an emergency response map that maybe has been or could be used in public safety? So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Daniel Stonecipher. Daniel?
Thank you so much, Lisa, and a great introduction. If we can just jump right into the next slide. Yeah, so first things first, GIS. Why GIS? GIS is that geospatial environment that connects your facility data to real-world locations. So being able to have essentially a borderless picture of your environment outside the world, outside the building, as Lisa had mentioned before, as well as inside the building. And to be able to visualize that and to apply the intelligence, the spatial intelligence that comes with this platform. GIS makes your building data actionable so you can plan better, respond better, operate smarter, and visualize your entire portfolio, your facility in one context. Next slide. All right, so why is GIS a game changer for facilities management? GIS, again, enables spatial data analysis. So this allows facility managers to analyze their portfolio of buildings and sites geographically, which means it has a real understanding of where it is in the world. It knows its X and Y and Z coordinates, and it's allows us to create a much deeper level of analysis across a much broader area. It enhances operational efficiency. So by being able to integrate a number of various data sources, that can be data sources coming from BIM, they could be cameras, they could be other geospatial inputs. This allows for one common platform to reduce redundancies and optimize, or one of the benefits is to be able to optimize your resource allocation. This realizes cost savings and improved performance for facilities managers, having that all in one operational environment. It improves safety and compliance. So because it's data-based, the ability to identify not only safety hazards and operational instances or events, but to apply compliance standards and regulatory compliance requirements to this data helps facility managers really proactively manage risks. It supports sustainability initiatives, again, by being able to analyze your entire campus, your entire facility across all buildings, being able to contextualize that in one cohesive database and one cohesive image provides you the ability to analyze environmental impact and resource allocation. And again, it provides informed decision making. So being able to have comprehensive visuals, so that visual context of what, where, and when, and how that broadcasts itself across your entire facility is invaluable. Next slide. All right, so access to facility data for first responders. So as the poll question intimated, right, how well connected is your building facility connected to your emergency response systems? So having isolated or siloed DXFs or DWGs or BIM files residing just in an IWMS or in a separate system, being able to combine all of those various inputs again into one environment. This data provides the building blocks for spatial intelligence once it's converted. So all of these various isolated environments, being able to converge them into one to give you the key data attributes to visually understand. All of this is critical for emergency response, risk planning, and mitigation. Facility plans and asset locations are often not drawn to scale. We see this all the time. We are implementing thousands and thousands of buildings into our environment, which means we get thousands and thousands of floor plans that are not to scale, that need to be able to be rationalized into a scalable format, geospatially understood. And those, again, are building blocks to being able to make informed decisions about what happened, where did it happen, and what time did it happen. So being able to take those floor plans and those critical data endpoints, these are key to emergency response. Understanding where your AEDs are, your fire extinguishers, entry points, video camera locations, IoT sensors, utility shutoffs. All of these are layers of data that you can understand comprehensively and contextually across your entire facility. Next slide. All right, so how are we harnessing this? Again, we're connecting this data to a location. This helps us visualize these spatial relationships better, for better understanding, for not only your emergency responders, but for your facility management and your maintenance technicians. It enhances this decision making. So being able to get the insights about what's happening where, and being able to understand trends in that data, and then to visually understand what does that mean in different areas of my facility. Improving spatial analysis. So being able to look at and examine this, basing it into your business operation. So being able to take that type of data, contextualize it, apply business rules, apply operational rules, and that naturally informs resource allocation. So understanding what you're doing, where you're doing, what the critical need is, where it is, what time it came in. This facilitates real-time monitoring as well as actionable outcomes. And really, from our perspective, it truly does support emergency planning. So being able to look across your facility and understand risks, understand operational inefficiencies in locations is key, and again, a foundational block to emergency response. Next slide. So let's dig a little bit deeper in there. For asset management, being able to effectively locate, geospatially locate, which means you can find it on a map using a mapping application to be able to track vital assets. So in our world, helping manage AEDs, fire panels, utility shutoffs, inspection reports on those AEDs, when were they last inspected, when were the batteries changed last, right? And understanding that and getting that into a maintenance schedule is something that's key to the benefit of GIS. So being able to visualize that. Enhanced tracking, so being able to keep tabs on these critical equipment locations. Space optimization, GIS is the golden ticket for space optimization, utilization, tracking, and reporting. Because you're able to see the entire facility in one view. You can zoom out, you can zoom in, the entire campus down to a space within a building. In all of that building space, space rooms, names, numbers, area, volumes of space, the assets that are in the space, those are all available to be able to be analyzed in a much bigger context. So that in and of itself provides occupancy management efficiencies and better space utilization, and of course, security integration. This allows you to, in this specific use case, visualize camera zones, access control points, and understand who's accessing what, where, and when. Next slide. Elevating decision makings. So complex decision makings about your capital planning, budgeting, facilities management involves integrating multiple data sources. In GIS, at its core is data. And the visualization layer allows you to understand and visually contextualize that data. So that intuitive visual interface provides, again, that campus level understanding of what's happening when and where. And important to that is being able to overlay data layers. So not everybody needs to see all of the information all the time. You can certainly, and in our platforms, you can separate out role and credential-based access to these data layers. So while one person may need to be able to see the context of a building in a space and visually identify certain aspects of that, another person may need to have a greater level of detail. I would give you the example of disconnect switch on power. Not everybody needs to know where the disconnect switch for a certain piece of equipment might be, where others would. And again, this is providing a holistic view across your entire portfolio. We can go to the next slide. I'm looking at the time. So resilience and business continuity start with spatial intelligence. So this accurate real-time indoor maps are the foundation for ensuring continuity. That's what we're delivering, real-time maps of your entire facility for emergency response readiness. So for police, fire, EMS to be able to respond with precise indoor locations. Seconds matter, as Lisa was talking about earlier, and it's a core mission to what we provide, and we believe that this naturally extends into the facilities world. It's not just about having police and fire there. It's about having the awareness of situations that's happening in your facility that may also coincide with that need to have first responders. Redundant data access and security. Our maps, particularly, are hosted securely and available via an API. and Ty's going to talk about are the importance of that API, those APIs and the integration with multiple partners and an ecosystem of partners. Scenario planning. GIS provides, again, that larger context of scenario planning. What's happening in one building may affect what's happening across your entire campus, right? So being able to operationalize the scenario planning across your entire portfolio. And I would say more importantly on the resilience side, being able to do post-incident review. All of this information can be time date stamped. You know where it is, you know when it happened, to be able to look backwards, to be able to enhance your future operations, to be able to provide compliance reports. The list goes on of being able to create predictive scenario planning as you move forward and reporting. Next slide. All right, so we talk about call locations. Lisa was talking about that earlier. Maps produce an X, a Y, and a Z, and GeoComm is a leader in evaluating and determining Z locations. We're tied into all of the major carriers. In 2015, the FCC imposed new rules requiring vertical Z access from 911 calls. So what does that mean? In our platform, we can show you exactly where somebody is horizontally within your space, but also vertically within your building. And we're able to do this through a number of patents that we have around this Z data access. Next slide. Security and compliance. I'll go through this quickly, but it's super important. Because of who we are in our longstanding history, 30 plus years in the 911 industry, not everybody gets access to that sensitive data. And with that access comes great responsibility. GeoComm meets the highest standards in public safety grade data security. You can trust us. We're SOC 2 audited. We utilize AWS GovCloud. We employ public safety grade security standards built for 911 and emergency operations used by federal, state, and local agencies everywhere. Our data access controls and encryption are all role-based. We employ multi-factor authentication. We have audit trails and encryption in transit and at rest. Super important. And of course, we provide GIS-centric permissions, as I was saying before. All of this applied to the layers of data. So only the people that are authorized get access to view, and only those get access to edit. Next slide. And we should be wrapping it up. So kind of looking forward, our platform, we feel our platform is the best platform suited for mission critical innovation. We're designed for public safety, but we're built for operational resilience. So what does that really mean? It means real-time GIS intelligence, up-to-date location data for assets, people, infrastructure, all of this being available instantly so that you can create or make better decisions and tie into your emergency response systems. As I was just talking about, secure, trusted data sharing. We collaborate with internal teams, partners, and responders using permission-based access to all of that sensitive data. And underneath the hood of all of this, and I alluded to it earlier, the predictive insights with AI. We leverage AI across all of this data stream, again, working with our partners to ensure that we're creating the greatest predictive environment. If you want to know how to predict certain scenarios across your entire facility, this is a platform to aid you in that. And with that, I'll hand this over to Ty.
Thank you, Daniel. I also think we have another poll for you to fill out. We're not trying to poll you to death, and we've only got a few minutes left, so if you can answer that poll, that would be great. After this poll, there should be another one, and we'll go from there. So to close things out, to tie together our 30-year history of working in the public safety and emergency response sectors, as well as emerging trends that Daniel just mentioned, I wanted to walk you through to a few key use cases where spatial intelligence was the front and center in terms of safety, security, business continuity, and resilience. The first of those is the very small project that we did. Started out in 2018, we were selected to be the common operating platform provider for the Super Bowl 52. Very large project, a lot of partners involved in it, a lot of agencies involved in it. And what did that look like when it was done? We built a 3D indoor and outdoor common operating platform that was used by over 80 federal, state, and local agencies. Think DHS, think FBI, think the local Minneapolis Police Department, the sheriffs, Homeland Security, all involved in this. It was not only an indoor map of the stadium itself, it was also interfaced with the indoor mapping and that existed in the building and systems they used for operations of the facility on a weekly basis for football games. It involved taking data from TomTom, three-dimensional data, and building a 3D model of the entire city. It involved scanning critical infrastructure within the city that was important, that they wanted to make sure was available to them in case they had to enter it. It involved monitoring other systems, IoT sensors, knowing where every law enforcement agency and personnel were by integrating to their computer dispatch systems, as well as the security systems that were already existing in the facility that were Bluetooth and GPS enabled. A tremendous project, taking Revit files from a local architect, bringing those in, taking other files that you had from other partners and bring that in. In the end, it was the common operating platform used for the entire Super Bowl event, pre-event and during the Super Bowl. Another quick example is a project we received from the state of Iowa. As we know, school safety is an issue. Nobody wants to see their children hurt, and active shooter events unfortunately do occur. And as a result, the state of Iowa contracted with GeoComm to build indoor maps for all their schools in the state, 1,400 schools, all their camera locations, all their AED locations, all of the critical infrastructure they needed. So they could access it not only in the 911 center that was responsible for that particular school, but also have it on mobile devices in their vehicles. So a very interactive, once again, working with the agency, the public safety agencies and their application providers, but also the school safety agencies, the schools and their application providers for panic buttons and things like that. Very large project. So let me just close this out. We got a few minutes left, and I'll try and go fast in the next 2 minutes. But we really appreciate the opportunity to introduce, this community to GeoComm and the spatial intelligence that we are bringing to create smarter, safer buildings. Brian Haynes mentioned in a presentation earlier this week that smart buildings are the future. We'll use AI for autonomous facility management. Necessary input to that, as Daniel alluded to, is geospatial data, not only from the building, but the surrounding buildings and environment around the building. To enable smart and safe buildings requires discussions with building owners or stakeholders, IDMS providers, and others. And as we found in all of our projects, not a single vendor or company can get it all done. It's not done in a vacuum, and it requires collection of data that does not exist, existing data conversion enhancement where it does, access enablement, and integration to existing customer applications. These are all the areas that Daniel mentioned, and I want to reiterate that we can support you in. So my call to action for everybody is, and what I want you to realize is that GeoComm isn't GeoComm without our partners. We have a successful history of partnering with agencies, both small and large, like AT&T, to bring success for both of both involved in the partnership and our customers. Our partnerships and our experience spans from small niche firms to industry giants. We're no strangers, as Daniel mentioned, to integrating with existing application providers and deploying solutions in complex technical environments. We have a dedicated partner team, which I'm on, and I would love to talk with all of you more. The message here is that we're better together than separate, and the task before us is much bigger than one company. So I've embedded links in this presentation that you will all see when you receive it, where you can click and become a partner. You can click and ask for additional information on GeoComm. You can also reach out to me directly through that email address, or you can reach out to Daniel and Lisa as well. But the bottom line is that we're very interested in we're happy to have the opportunity to introduce GeoComm to this group. And on behalf of the GeoComm team, I want to thank you for your time today. We look forward to continuing this conversation with you at your convenience in the future. Have a great evening.
Great, thank you. So actually, I think we can indulge the audience just for maybe a minute or two. We do have one question. So we have a question from Matt Dawson. Do you have a blue dot user experience case study, for example, having a Waze type app with campus attributes or an API for similar products?
Yeah, we can certainly share a number of projects and projects and case studies that we have. We're certainly able to to provide blue dot location and routing in our applications. And as Ty was just mentioning, we have a very, very robust API ecosystem with a very robust ecosystem of partners. So, yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Ty. Thanks, Daniel. And thank you to everybody in the audience for taking your time to spend it with us here today.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Have a great day.